Welcome all. In this session, we are going to discuss about the influence lines for statically determinate structures. Okay. First case, we are going to discuss about the simply supported beams. Simply supported beams obviously comes under the statically determinate structure. Previously, we have discussed what is meant by statically determinate and indeterminate structures. Today, what we are going to do is we are going to find the maximum shear force and the bending moment and the reaction at each supporter using the influence line diagram. So now we are going to see how we should derive the expression for this influence line diagram, and we are going to obtain the diagram for that influence line diagram using the influence line ordinates, and later using that ordinate we will be finding the maximum shear force and the maximum bending moment for the given section. Okay, first we are going to choose a simply supported beam. Okay, here it is a simply supported beam whose span I am taking as L. Okay, now let us try to get the value for ILD, that is influence line diagram for reaction at A. Here A is left support and B is right hand support. Okay, now we are going to find the influence line diagram for the reaction at A. So for that, what we are going to do is, now we are going to apply on unit load. Okay, on unit load over this B at the distance of A from the left support. If it is A, this portion will be obviously L minus A. Okay. So before finding the influence line value for a reaction at A, we have to find what is the reaction at A for this B. Okay. So what we are going to do to determine the reaction at A means we will be taking moment. Okay, we will be taking moment about B. So we can obtain the value of reaction at A, that is RA. So if we take moment about V means what happens means RA into the force acting on the left side we will be considering for this support B. Okay, when you are taking for a moment about B, we will be considering the forces that were acting on the either side on the section we are considering. Here the forces were acting only on the left side, so we are considering only the left portion. So RA into its corresponding perpendicular distance is L, which will be acting in the clockwise direction. Okay, left clockwise is positive, minus, then what is acting means this 1 into distance L minus A. Why this minus K means this unit load 1 will act in anti-clockwise direction. This anti-clockwise left side anti-clockwise moment acts means that the sign according to sign convention the sign will be negative. So this moment is equal to 0. We all know that at the hinge support the moment will be 0. Okay. So what is the value of RA is RA equal to L minus A divided by L. Okay, we have found the reaction at A. Next, we all know that this A is variable. Since we are considering about the rolling loads in this session, okay, we are not going to discuss any static loads. Like here, the load is assumed to move from left end to right end. Okay, here, for this consideration, for this section, we have chosen that this load is acting at the distance from A, from the left supporter. So here A is a variable. Okay, A is a variable means the load will move from the left support to the right support. So there will be two cases arising to draw the influence line diagram for a reaction. First one is when A equal to 0. That is here. When I am applying the A first unit load here, that is A equal to 0. What happens to RA means RA will become L minus 0 divided by L. RA value will become 1. So this is the influence line ordinate for for the load moving from the left support to right support at A. Okay. Next, second case, what we are doing is we are assuming that A equal to L. That is A acting at this point. Okay, that means A means that unit load. Now I am assuming that unit load is acting at B. Okay, so that the A value will become L. Now RA value will become 0. Am I right? So using these values, we are going to draw the influence line for the reaction at A. So this is the line. It is A and this is B. So here the value is 1 and here it comes to be 0. Okay, this is the influence line diagram for reaction at A. Okay, you'll be asking what variation is going in this influence line diagram. Here it is a linear variation. Since the RA has this RA value has no power. Okay, it has the power value of this reaction is 1. Okay, so the variation will be linear variation. That is why the diagram is assumed as a linear variation. Okay. Next, how we are going to apply this influence line diagram to obtain the value of the reaction means what we will be doing is, say for example, to find the maximum value of the reaction at A, we will be placing the load where reaction at A is maximum. Okay, where there is maximum reaction is at the A. Okay, can you see here only? The value is maximum, the area is maximum. Okay, so we will be placing, for example, I am assuming that 50 kilonewton load is moving from left support to right support. Okay, so how we can obtain the maximum maximum shear force means maximum reaction at A means we will be placing that 50 kilonewton load. We'll be placing this 50 kilonewton load here. Okay, in this point we will be placing that 50 kilonewton load. Then what we will be doing is we will be multiplying that 50 kilonewton load with the ordinate influence line ordinate so that the reaction at the A will be obtained. Here the ordinate is 1. So the load is 50 kilonewton. So 50 into 1 means 50 kilonewton will be the reaction at the A. Okay, this is very clear. So now what I want to know is I want to know the value of the reaction at this point. Okay, if I want to know the reaction at this point, say it is the distance of L by 2. Okay, if it is at the distance of L by 2, this is 1. Then according to triangular property, this point will become 0.5. Okay, this is 0.5 means this 50 kilonewton into 0.5, 25 kilonewton is the reaction that is acting at the middle point, and that is a midpoint of this beam. Okay, this is the reaction of A at the midpoint. So the moving load does not stand in one point. It is moving from one place to another place. Here we are going to find where the maximum influence is going to occur because of that moving load. That is the important thing we are going to learn about this influence line for reaction at A. Okay. Next, we are going to discuss about the influence line diagram for RB. Next, we are going to discuss about the influence line diagram for the reaction at B. Okay, for the reaction at B, what we are going to do is similar to the previous case for the influence line diagram for RA. We are going to apply the same conditions. So we are going to apply one unit load. Okay, at the distance of A from the end L, the total span of the beam is taken as L. Okay, this is A and this is B. First, we have to find it out what is the value of RB. For that, we are going to take moment about A. Then, what happens means RB into L minus 1 into A equal to 0. So the RB value becomes A by L. Here you can ask me why here is plus sign and here minus sign means according to the sign convention to take moment in the right side. Okay, now I am considering this unit load 1. Okay, sorry, now I am considering this point A. Okay, this we are going to take the section to the right side of the portion we are considered. Okay, right side portion only we are considering to take the momentum. So this RB will act in anti-clockwise direction. Am I right? It will act in anti-clockwise direction. Right, anti-clockwise means positive sign. This unit load will act in clockwise direction. Okay, right, clockwise direction means negative sign convention I am adopting. That is what here the sign differences are coming. Okay, next what we are going to see is influence line diagram using this value of RB. So first what we will be doing is we will be applying this unit load at this point. Okay, second we will be applying the unit load at this point B. So there exist two conditions. One is when A value is 0. Unit load means what here meant is that moving load is moving from the point A to B. Okay, A is a variable which is moving from 0 to L. So first the load is applied at the point A. So A value becomes, small a value becomes 0. Second the load is applied at the point B. Then the small a value becomes L. So obviously the reaction at the B will be 0 when A is equal to 0. And RB value will become 1 when A value is equal to L. And here is the influence line diagram for RB. Okay, now we found the influence line diagram for the RB. Next we are going to the application. Application means how we are going to find the maximum shear force and bending moment, maximum value of this reaction using this influence line diagram. Am I right? First we will be asking to find the maximum reaction at A at B due to the unit load. Say for example I am taking one 40 kilonewton load. Okay, here what I will be doing is I will be applying that 40 kilonewton load at the point B. Whereas in the first condition, that is when we are finding the influence line diagram for RA. Okay, this is ILD for RA. Okay, in the here we will be applying this 40 kilonewton load here to find the maximum value of RA. Whereas to find the maximum value of RB, I have to place this 40 kilonewton load at the point B, because we should place the load where the area of the influence line diagram is maximum. That is the statement you have to understand here. Have you all got it? Because here is the maximum area. How we will be updating the reaction at this point is we will be multiplying the ordinate and ordinate where the load is we are going to apply and the load what we apply. Okay, for example, here the ordinate value is 1. Okay, the load applied is 40 kilonewton. So the maximum reaction for this beam will be 40 for this load condition, and in this beam is a 40 into 1, 40 kilonewton is the maximum reaction at B. If I am asking to, if I was asked to find the reaction at this point due to this unit load means I will be applying this load here. In this point, say this is at the distance of L by 2 means this value becomes 0.5. Am I right? So the reaction at B will become 20 kilonewton. Am I right? Similarly, we are going to discuss about the UDL. Okay, if suppose, imagine that an UDL is going to act over this beam. Okay. First, we should draw the influence line diagram for RB. Okay. Now there is one UDL. Okay. This is the UDL whose length is assumed to be P. Okay. How I should place this load? First condition is you should place the load over that influence line diagram. Then only you can find the value of the reaction or whatever. It may be a shear force or bending moment. Since here we are discussing about the reaction, so we shall talk only about reaction. Okay, we are not going to discuss about shear force or bending moment and all now. Okay, so first thing is how to place the load. Okay, if it is UDL, so first question is how to place the load. The load should be placed in such a manner that it should be placed below the placed above the influence line diagram whose area is maximum. Okay, in the influence line diagram, which area is maximum? On that position only we should place the load. Here you see, we should place here. Okay, this is the tail of the load. This is the head of the load. For reaction at A, we will be placing the tail at the support A. For the reaction at B, we will be placing the head. Okay, we will be placing the head of the load at the support B. Okay, this is how we should place the load and find the value of the reactions, respective reactions. It may be or A or B. Okay, this is how we are going to find the influence line diagram. This is the purpose of finding the influence line diagram. Next, what we are going to discuss is about the shear force. Okay. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the influence line diagram for shear force at any section X in the simply supported beam we have considered. Okay, so first we are going first about discussing about the shear force. We should apply the unit load in two different places. Okay, for this beam, okay, I am considering on section XX at the distance of X from the left support A. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, in first case, I will be placing this unit load in the region AX. Okay, I'll be placing the unit load in the region AX. Whereas in second case, I will be placing the same unit load in the region XB. Okay, from both these cases, we will be collecting the influence line diagram. Okay, so first we discuss about the first case, that is placing the unit load in the region AX. Okay, so first of all, what we should do? We should find the value of the shear force at the section X. Okay, so for finding the shear force at the section, what is mean by shear force? We all know it is the algebraic sum of the reactions on either side of the section. Okay, now I am choosing the right portion of the section because in right side only we have only one reaction RB alone. If I consider left means I have to take reaction RA and also the unit load 1. For that case, for my convenience, I am taking the right portion. So the reactions is, shear force at the X will be what? It will be RB. Okay, but the value will be minus. Okay, minus RB because right upward is negative. In a shear force sign convention, right upward is negative. So minus RB. We have already found the value of RB as A by L. So the shear force at X will be minus A by L. Okay, now what we will be doing? We will be applying two cases. That is when this unit load acts at the point A, that is A equal to 0. And second condition is unit load acting at the point L, that is the unit load has moved to the point B. Here we all know that A is a variable moving from the point A to B. First I am considering the first point A and second I am considering the second point B. In first point, this value of the small a becomes 0 and in second point the value of small a becomes L. Okay, now when I apply A equal to 0, the value of shear force at X will become 0. Okay, when apply A equal to L, the value of shear force at this place will become, sorry, I should not use L, I am very sorry. The value is here X, am I right? Up to this portion only we are considering the value of shear force will be X. Sorry, the value of A will be taken as X. So the value will become minus X by L. In second case only we are going to consider the distance X to L. Okay, initially what I did is I am going to make this load move from this point A to, okay, this point A to this section X. Okay, for this only the first case is considered, so only I am placing the unit load in this portion. In the second case only what I am going to do is I am going to make the load move from the point X, okay, to the point B. Here only the value of A becomes X and L, okay. So this is done, okay. You just leave it as it is. Now what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to find the value of shear force for the second case. Okay, the value of shear force at the X. Here, which side I should consider is, it's better to consider the left side because there I will be having only reaction at A. Since it is left upward, the value is taken as positive. So plus RA. The value of RA we have already found as L minus A by L. This is the value of shear force at X. Okay, now what happens means, now the value of A becomes L and value of L becomes X and L. When A value is equal to X, this value will become what? L minus X by L. When A value is equal to L, the value becomes 0. Okay, from this two things we are going to draw the influence line diagram for the shear force at the section X we have considered for this study. Okay, we all know at the point X what is happening is, this causes negative shear minus X by L. At the same point X, this second case causes positive shear of, this value is X by L, this value is L minus X by L. Here also the power value is 1. I mean here the power value is 1. Okay, so the variation will be linear. So this is the influence line diagram for shear force. Have you all got it? This is the influence line diagram for shear force. I will draw again. Okay. This is the, okay. This point is that X. Okay. This point is that X. This ordinate is X by L and this ordinate is L minus X by L. Now we have found the influence line diagram for the shear force. Next we are going to discuss about the application of this influence line diagram for the shear force. Again we are going to consider one point load. Okay, suppose if the point load is, suppose you are taking that point load, and when you want to find the maximum negative shear force means, you have to place the point load where the negative ordinate is maximum. Okay, we know here only the negative ordinate is maximum. In this region, the negative ordinate is maximum. In this region, the positive ordinate is also maximum. So whenever you want to find the maximum positive shear force or positive or negative shear force, you should place the load at the section you are consider. That is the point here you are going to infer. Okay, if it is the point load, this is the case. Suppose you are considering one UDL means, what happens means, you will be placing the, to find the negative shear force means, what happens means, you will be placing the head of the, okay, head. Negative shear force means you will be placing the head in this region. Okay, if it is a positive shear force means you will be placing the tail of the UDL at the point X. Okay, if you are going to place the load only at the point X means, that is a section you are considered. That is clear. Okay, because there only the area of the influence line diagram will be maximum. So you will be getting the maximum value of the shear force. That is the reason you are going to place the load over the point, I mean over the section you are considering, that is X here. Okay, if it is a point load, there is no problem, you will be placing exactly under the point X. But if it is UDL, you will be confusing which position I should place. Okay, so if it is UDL, you should place the tail portion of that UDL when you are considering for maximum positive shear force. If you consider for maximum negative shear force, you should place the head of the UDL in the section. Okay, this is the influence line diagram for shear force at the section we are considering. Next, what we are going to find is, we are going to find the influence line diagram for the bending moment for the same beam considered. Okay, Here I am going to take the section XX. Here also we are going to discuss two cases which we have discussed in the previous session. Okay, this is similar to shear force we have found. Okay, in the same manner we will be applying the load. Okay, now what I am going to do is, in first case I will be placing the unit load here. Okay, you know this distance is x and this distance will be L minus x. This is the same thing here also. In the second case, I will be placing this unit load in the portion xb at the distance a from capital A, from the support A. Okay, first cases I am going to place the unit load where in the portion AX, but in the second case I am placing the same unit load in the portion XB. Okay, first you should be clear about these things. This is the first condition you should keep in mind when you are going to find the shear force and bending moment. Okay, going to find the shear force and bending moment influence line diagram. Okay. Now what I am going to do is, for the first, for shear force we have found the shear force. Since it is a bending moment, we have to find the bending moment at the section x. Okay. So to find the bending moment at the section x, now I can take either side of the section. It will be easy for me to take if I take the right side. Okay. So I am considering right side. So what happens? RB into the distance is L minus x. Am I right? So the value of RB is A by L into L minus x. In this case, what happens means it will be easy for me if I consider the left portion of the section. Okay, because on the right side I am having two loads. One is the reaction at B and another one is unit load. So it will be easy for me to take the left portion, that is RA into the distance will be x. Am I right? Here the value of RA is L minus x, L minus A by L. Okay, L minus A by L into x. Now we have found the moment at the section for both the cases. Next, what is the case? And third thing, what we are first thing, you should be aware of this two different position of placing the load. Second thing, you should find the moment. And the third thing, what you are going to do is you are going to apply the condition. Here you know that A is a variable. In the first case, it will move from 0 to x. In the second case, A moves from x to L. Okay, when A equal to 0 means this term becomes 0. And when A equal to x means what happens? When A equal to x means what happens? It becomes x by L into L minus x. Similarly, here also, when A equal to x, this value becomes x by L into L minus x. But when it is L, mx value will become 0. So next what we are going to do is, we are going to draw the influence line diagram for bending moment using these values. Okay, here also 0, here also 0. At the point I am considering that section, that is x, no. There the value of the influence line ordinate is x by L into L minus x. Okay, this is the influence line ordinate and this is the influence line diagram for the bending moment. Similarly, what we have discussed in the previous cases, that suits for the bending moment also. Here also we are going to place the load where the bending moment, where the area of the load is maximum. If it is a point, area of the ILD is maximum. So you will be confusing here. Okay, there and all it is very clear that this portion is greater, that portion is greater. Here it will be like this, so you will be confusing. So here what you are going to do means, let me take that influence line diagram separately and draw. Okay, this is the influence line diagram. Okay, this is A and this is B. Now I am considering one UDF. Okay, considering one UDF. I am taking it as A dash, this as B dash. Okay, now you will be thinking, how should I place this UDL? If it is a point load, it will be easy for me to place this at this maximum alternate point. So now it is a UDL, no? So you will be asking how should I place this UDL? So I am naming this UDL load as A dash and B dash. What you should understand is this. I am taking this point as D. Okay, this AD divided by DB ratio should be equal to A dash D divided by B dash D. Okay. For example, if it is 4 meter and this is 8 meter, so what will be the ratio? 4 by 8 is 1 by 2. Okay, and for example, I am taking this UDL span as a 6 meter. So now I want to obtain the ratio as 1 by 2. So how this should be placed? Here 3 meter. Here 2, here 4. So you will be getting the ratio as 1 by 2. Am I right? So this ratio, this AD to DB ratio should be equal to A dash D to B dash D. AD ratio, okay, A dash D dash, here D dash B dash, here DB. Hope you understand. Next we shall move on to the problem. This is the first problem we are going to solve in this session. Okay, the question here is draw the influence line diagram for shear force and bending moment for the section at 5 meter from left hand support of the simply supported beam whose span is 20 meter. Right. Hence calculate the maximum bending moment and maximum shear force at the section due to an ideal rolling load of length 8 meter and intensity 10 kilonewton per meter. Okay, from the data you will be knowing that first what they are asking to find is influence line diagram for bending moment and shear force. Here they are not asking about the reaction and all. So we have to find only two things. One is the shear force and bending moment. Okay, then using that influence line diagram we are going to find the maximum bending moment and maximum shear force at the section. Okay, the first thing is it is a simply supported beam. Right, it is a simply supported beam. Its span is 20 meter. Am I right? Its span is 20 meter and the section they have considered is, we are taking as XX, which is at the distance of 5 meter from the left support. Okay, here the left support I am mentioning as A and the right support as B. That section is at the distance of 5 meter from the left support A. Okay, this is the condition. And the third thing and the last thing we have to note is there is the UDL rolling over this beam. Here not any point load, not any concentrated load acting on this beam. Here one rolling load, that two UDL, uniformly distributed load is rolling over this beam whose length is 8 meter and its intensity is 10 kilonewton meter. 10 kilonewton per meter. Okay. So first we are going to find the shear force. Whenever we are going to draw the influence line diagram for shear force and bending moment, what we will be doing is we will be first thing what we should know is first we should know we are having two conditions. One is okay, placing the unit load in the portion AX. Okay, and the second condition we will be placing the unit load in the portion XB. Am I right? Next what we will be doing? We will be finding the moment. Second one is, this is the first one, and the second one is we will be finding the moment about this section for both the cases. And the third one what means? We will be applying the value of A. A will vary from 0 to X for the first condition. For the second condition, the A will vary from X to L. Okay, because here we are considering only the portion XB, but here we are considering the portion AX. Okay, so here the value of A moves from 0 to X, and in the second condition A value moves from X to L. By applying these values, we will be finding the influence line diagram. Okay, so here we have found it already. Okay, so here we shall draw easily since we found already. Okay, So we already know what is the influence line diagram for the simply supported beam for shear force. Okay, for shear force the diagram will be like this. Okay, for this problem the distance is 5 meter, means this x is acting at this point, right? This ordinate value is x by L. Here the value is L minus x by L. Am I right? So what happens means the value of x by L is, here the x value is 5, okay, L value is 20, so the ordinate value becomes 0.25, okay. Here the value of L is 20 and x value is 5. So 20 minus 5, 15 divided by again 20 will give the value of 0.75. So you have found the ordinate. Now what you will be thinking is, now how should I find my maximum positive shear force and maximum negative shear force? Am I right? For maximum positive shear force, we have already discussed that we should place the tail of the UDL over this portion. Okay, here the span is 15 meter. This is 8 meter load. The span is 15 meter. Okay, what happens means the maximum. Okay, now what I am going to get is the maximum negative shear force is load intensity into the area of the ILD under the load. The load intensity is 10. Okay, the area of the influence line diagram is what? It is triangular in shape, so we can obtain the value easily. Okay. What we are going to do here is, it is a triangular in form, but the load is acting only up to the distance of 8 meter, not for the 15 meter. So only this portion we will be considering. This seems to be the trapezoid. Am I right? So what you will be what you will be taking means this 0.75, okay, plus 0.35 divided by 2 into 8. You know, you will be asking how this 0.35 you obtain. Okay, sorry, I didn't discuss about this. Okay, this 0.35 is this value. Okay, this value is 0.3. Okay, you know that according to triangular similarity property, what you'll be doing is, for the distance of 15 meter, the value is 0.75, means from this point I'm settling. Okay, from this point to this point. Okay, from the distance of 15 meter, the value is 0.75 meter. Sorry, 0.75. So what is the value for the distance of 7 meter? Since it is 8 meter, here the value will be 7 meter, right? What will be the value means this value is that 0.35. We are using that 0.35 here and we are obtaining the area of the influence line under the load using the trapezoidal formula. Now the value of positive shear force, I'm very sorry. Now the value of a positive shear force will be, based on calculation, it will be 40 kilonewton. Okay, the value is 40 kilonewton. Okay, fine. Next, what we are going to do is, we are going to find the negative shear force value. Okay. Okay, next we are going to find the maximum negative shear force for the given section. Okay, this is the influence line diagram for the shear force. You know this distance is 5 meter. Okay, this ordinate is 0.25 x by L. Here L minus x by L value is 0.75. This on all you found. Okay. Next, what you will be doing to determine the value of a negative shear forces, you will be placing the head of the load in this region. This is the head. Here, what is the problem is, the load is 8 meter. Okay, whereas the length of the beam in this side is only 5 meter. So this 3 meter will be left. You don't need to consider the 3 meter, because we are going to consider only the influence of the load which is acting on that beam only. Okay, here only that 5 meter load will be acting, so we are going to consider only that 5 meter. Not we don't need to worry about the 3 meter left in that side and all. Okay, so to find the maximum negative shear force, what we will be doing? The load acting on this, okay, that load intensity into the ordinate area of the influence line diagram under the load, okay. Here the load intensity is 10 kilonewton per meter, right? So the area here is, this is the area. Okay, this is the area. So this is triangular in shape. So there is no any risk for us to find any that using the similarity property, and you don't need to find any ordinate value. So off into base into height. So 0.25 into 5 meter. This is very important. You should put only 5 meter for the load. You should not take that 8 meter, because here only 5 meter is the only span acting. Okay, so you should take only the 5 meter. So be aware of that. So the value of the negative shear force will be 6.25 kilonewton. Okay. Okay. Next, what we are going to find is to find the maximum bending moment. Okay. So this is our beam. Am I right? This is our beam. Here I am taking the section. Okay. 5 meter, this is 15 meter, the total span is, that is 20 meter. So before finding the value of maximum bending moment, you should know the influence line diagram for the bending moment for this case. Okay, so now I am going to draw the influence line diagram for the bending moment. We have already discussed about the influence line diagram for the bending moment, so it will be easy for you to draw the influence line diagram. Okay, this is at the distance of 5 meter. Here the value of the bending moment will be what? L minus x by L into x. This is the value of the ordinate. Am I right? Okay. Now what you will be worrying about is, okay. Applying the value of this x and L, the ordinate value here is 3.75 meter. So this value is 3.75 meter. Are you clear? Next, what we are going to do is, we are going to find where to place the load. That is our next question. Okay, I am going to place the load here, whose span is 8 meter. We know that we will be placing the load only above the area which is maximum. Okay, we will be placing the load only above the maximum area of the influence line diagram. But here I am not having any clarity where the up to which level I should place it. Since this is UDL, I am little confused. So we should remember one thing here. Okay, whenever the maximum bending moment at the section due to the UDL shorter than the span occurs, when the section divides the load in the same ratio as it divides the same. Okay, this we have already discussed. Okay, now let me explain. I am taking this as A, this B, this is B. This as A1, this as B1. Okay, this A by D divided by D by DB should be equal to A1D divided by B1D. This is the condition to place the UDL to find the maximum bending moment. This is very important condition. Don't forget this, because if you forget this, you can't able to find the maximum value of the bending moment. So please don't forget this. Okay, now you know the value of AD is what? 5 meter. Am I right? The value of DB is 15 meter. So the ratio is what? 1 by 3. So this is the ratio. This load should also follow. Okay, so now to get that value, I am dividing this 8 meter as 2 meter and 6 meter. Okay, 2 meter in A1D side, and in B1D side I am taking it as 6 meter. Now what will be the ratio? 1 by 3, because 2 by 6 will gives 1 by 3. So this 1 by 3 equal to that 1 by 3. Okay, so now we have found where to place the load. Am I correct? Now we are very clear about placing the load. Okay, fine. Now we are going to find the value of the maximum bending moment, because now we are very clear about placing the load. Okay, now how we can find the value of the maximum bending moment? It is very easy. to find the maximum bending moment, what you will be doing? You will be multiplying the load intensity with the area we are considered. Okay, here the area considered is I have shaded in a red color. Okay, so what you are going to do is, for that, before finding that, you should know what is the value here. Say I am taking it as x and I am taking this as y. So you should first, what should you should be in this, you should know what is this value of x and y. Okay, same thing I am going to do now. Okay, for the span of 5 meter, this ordinate is 3.75. So what is the value of x for the span of, here it is 2 meter, means from that side it is 3 meter. So the value of x will be 2.25. Okay. Similarly for y also I am doing the same thing. For y, what I am doing is I am going to consider from here. Okay, this side, this b side I am considering for. Okay, for 15 meter span, the value is 3.75 meter. Then what will be the value of y for the distance of 9 meter? Okay, it will be 2.25 meter. So both x value and y value is equal to 2.25. This is also 2.25 and this is also 2.25. Now we found these values. Now you can find the area of the area we are considered to determine the bending moment. Am I right? The load intensity is 10 into the area. Okay, again we are going to apply the same trapezoidal rule here. So 3.75 into, okay, sorry, 3.75 into the plus. Wait, I will clear and rewrite again. So the maximum bending moment is 10 into the area is 3.75 plus the 2.25. We have found in the previous slide, I have shown that figure. Okay, from that you can find how I got this, divided by 2 into the span. That is here the height is that load length. Okay, so it is 8 meter. By using this, we found the value of maximum bending moment as 240 kilonewton. Okay, this is the maximum bending moment. So we have finally found the maximum positive shear force, positive negative shear force, and the maximum bending moment using the influence line diagram. Okay, now I hope you will be very clear about this simply supported beam. Okay, next I am going to give one small problem based on the point load. Okay. Okay, this is your assignment problem. Okay, I will read the question. A single rolling load, okay, whose the load value is 100 kilonewton, moves on a girder of span. Girder means it's a beam. Okay, that beam span is 20 meter. Construct the influence line diagram for shear force and bending moment for the section 5 meter from the left support, and also construct the influence line for the points at which the maximum shear and maximum bending moment develop. Determine these maximum values. Here the spelling is mistake, maximum value. Please ignore it. Okay. So in the previous case, we have discussed how to draw the influence line diagram for reaction, bending moment, and how to place the load over that to find the maximum bending moment, maximum shear, maximum reaction, and all. Okay. And one problem I have solved for the UDL load. It will be little tougher because you know that you should place the load only under the maximum area of the influence line diagram. Okay, if it is the point load, it will not be too much confusion. If it is UDL, you will be little confused. For that purpose only, I have solved the loading based on UDL. Okay, but here I have given a problem based on the point load. It will be very simple. Please solve this problem. Okay, try to solve this problem. Okay, thank you for attending the class.